Good morning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on the video today. As you can see from the title, this is a travel catch-up, an update on all our plans, and this is also a question and answer session on our Chinese adoption, ancestry, long lost family reunion kind of story. So it's only been a few days since Vlog Diary went live. I have had an overwhelming response to it, and I'm really surprised. I didn't expect to get as much of a response as I've had, and it means so much to me. And I've had so many questions about you wanting more information or just wanting to clarify a few points in the vlog. So I thought, I'm going to jump on, I'm going to do a vlog for you, and I'll do a full Q&A, and now is the perfect time to also give you a full travel update of what you've got coming up in terms of vlogs on the channel as well. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Sam. Hi, and I love vlogging all our Disney and our cruising and our travel adventures. We went on an ancestry journey, I suppose the last 3 years or so. My mum is very poorly and she has incurable cancer, unfortunately. The longer she's kind of gone on with being poorly and having treatment, the more she's wanted to find out about her birth mother. So my mum was adopted in London in the 60s when she was born. And she had very, very limited information on who her mother was. Anyway, so for you to find out the rest of that, you need to go back and watch the Ancestry vlog, because the Ancestry vlog starts just before we had the first meeting with the adoption caseworker, and that was last January in 2024, and then takes you all the way through to finding and meeting my Chinese grandmother. It's been incredible. Anyway, so you need to go back and watch that, because all of the questions that you asked me about it, I'm going to answer for you today. It's also the perfect time to do a travel update, as I said, because we've got a lot going on in the next few months. And if you're here watching this, then you probably want to know, well, what vlogs are going to be coming up next. So let's get cracking. My most recent vlogs, I've had all of the Hong Kong vlogs go out now, and they were absolutely some of my favorite vlogs that I've ever made. Apart from the fact that Hong Kong clearly has I really resonated with Hong Kong. I think it is because of the ancestry history I've got there, and I just really connected with the city. It is by far and above my favorite city in the whole world, and I can't see anything changing that. We just absolutely loved it. My sister and I, we went on our own adult only trip, and we just smashed out all of the important things that we wanted to do in Hong Kong, and we spent a couple of days at Disneyland in Hong Kong as well. So all of the vlogs for that are on my channel. The one thing that you won't see in those vlogs that will come, and I will revert back to this in the question and answer a bit in a moment, is information about Elizabeth, my grandmother's childhood. Sort of what happened to her. She had a hugely fascinating life, and there was one morning that Steph and I were in Hong Kong, and we actually followed all the steps of what happened to her as a child. So she was abandoned as a baby at a hospital in Hong Kong, and she was then found by a British doctor, and she was looked after by her, and then she ended up being adopted by another lady in Hong Kong, and she grew up in Hong Kong. So we traipsed through all of those different places. So I will come back to that in a moment. But that's the Hong Kong vlogs. That's what you're going to find there. We also then went to Centre Parks in Belgium, and we went to Efteling theme park. So there's a couple of reels and shorts and some stories and things on Instagram that you might be interested to have a look at. But really what's coming next is, now that the Hong Kong vlogs are out, I will be editing our Oasis of the Seas vlog. So I did a Come Pack With Me vlog, which was all about cruising tips for first timers and for families. And we've done a few cruises now as a family, and I also worked on board cruise ships for 2.5 years. So I think I've got 84 cruises under my belt now. So I did a cruise Come Pack With Me kind of tip vlog that will be going out really soon. And I also did a grand tour of Oasis of the Seas. It was our first Royal Caribbean cruise as passengers. I did work for them as a crew member years ago. And we had an amazing time. We are absolutely converted to Royal Caribbean. We loved the ship. And Oasis of the Seas was the first original massive ship, and we loved it. So I filmed this full grand tour. So if you're considering going on Oasis, or you already love Oasis of the Seas, then you can check that out when it goes live. So make sure you are subscribed already, just so you know when it's going to come out. You don't miss it as it comes through. And then the next vlog series to come, which I'm so excited about, even though I'm kind of behind with the times, is our Canada series. So we went to Canada for New Year, and it was absolutely incredible. We flew to Calgary. We spent a couple of days in Calgary before driving up into the mountains, into Banff National Park. We stayed at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, which is the hotel right on the lake, and we were there for New Year's Eve. We spent 4 nights there, exploring the area, doing snow tubing, and we went walking across the lake. We did sleigh rides all the way around the lake. Oh, it was... And New Year's Eve at that hotel as well was absolutely incredible. They had a full family party. Possibly the best hotel I've ever stayed at. And then from there we went down into Banff and we stayed at another lovely hotel called Moose Hotel and Suites. And then we just explored, you know, the rest of Banff really, and the different lakes. And we went up the gondola, and it was the most incredible trip. And by the time we got home, we had a lot going on sort of like personally. And I just found myself getting to a point where I thought, we're about to go on Oasis of the Seas. It's like early February. It's way too late already to be putting out snowy Winterland Canada vlogs, so I've actually held them back. I've organised all the footage and I've held them back. After the next 2 Oasis of the Seas vlogs, you will then get the Canada vlog series, and I'm so excited to bring that to you because it was like nowhere else I've ever been on earth. It was incredible. So before I then tell you about what's coming up in our travels, because we have some epic trips coming up. Let's go into the Q&A. This Q&A, question and answer session, is I'm going to answer all of your questions that you've emailed me, that you have written to me on YouTube, that you've messaged me on Messenger and Instagram, and follow me on those channels as well if you don't already. But these are basically a combined question and answers from everything that you've asked and that you've wanted to know, and also like your feedback. So let's jump right in. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you. As I said at the beginning, I'm really overwhelmed with the response. I didn't expect to get this level of response. I've never had a video like this go up on my channel. This was an entirely new experience for us. You know, this is like a once in a lifetime, doesn't happen to many people, once in a million kind of situation. And I really am overwhelmed with the response that I've had. So thank you so much. It's been so well received. People have been so positive. And people have been so like grateful for me sharing the story as well. Like, I'm grateful to my mum for letting me share this story and not minding me vlogging this, and like to my family who've been on board with it. So thank you. And I think it's such a powerful story to tell. I'm really pleased that they all felt the same and thought, yeah, this is absolutely fine to share, and we actually, you know, we really support you in sharing it, and we want other people to know about this. And actually the response that I've had from you and the messages I've had from you really just solidified that fact. So thank you is the first thing I want to say. I've had a couple of people, like someone said this on YouTube, you'll see it in the comments, and someone else messaged me this and said, I really hope your video goes viral, which is so sweet. I've never had a video go viral. I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which absolutely blows my mind, and I really can't believe it. I have a very varied audience because I think my videos are really varied. And whilst I don't always get like the level of views that other channels with my level of subscribers get, I'm okay with it because I've considered before, should I have like a secondary channel for things that really aren't Disney related or that aren't travel related? And actually I decided I don't really want to do that because this for me isn't, I mean, views are amazing. Obviously I love it when a video does well, but it isn't all about that. It's about me being able to sit back and watch our memories later, and about the boys being able to sit back and watch their memories. And I think this Ancestry vlog is a key example of that. Henry's 7, Jack's 3, they won't remember all this journey in a few years' time. You know, give it 10, 20 years' time. They're going to want to tell their children about it and say to their children, you're part Chinese. This is how this played out. This is how we know. Well, it's documented. It's written in time. It's there forever. And that's what means so much to me. Jack and I actually sat down and watched our 2023 Walt Disney World vlog series the other day, and I cried because they look so young. And it's so magical being able to go back and watch it. So yes, I'm not splitting the channel down. The channel will stay the same because it's my slice of memories and my corner of the internet, and it brings me so much joy. So it's staying as it is. So if this doesn't go viral, that's fine. But I really appreciate the fact that people have said we hope it does go viral because it's just so kind. It's so kind. Lots of people have said how powerful the video is. and how impactful the video is. That especially means a lot. I do think it's a really powerful story, and as you can see from the video, like how emotional it was. Oh my goodness, was it an emotional journey. There were points in that I just sobbed. I sobbed for my mum, I sobbed for my grandmother, who I didn't even know at that point. We didn't know if she was alive, we didn't know if we'd ever find her. It was highly emotional, and the way that it panned out was just so incredible for us. And I don't think I really appreciated how powerful that would feel to other people as well. So that's been really nice. So someone else commented and said that they think every soldier who served in Hong Kong should have a DNA test. And how interesting would that be on an Ancestry DNA? That sort of made me laugh, but in like a really wow, yeah. What an insight that would give. Because there must be so many children who don't know who their parents are. Like my grandmother doesn't know who her parents were. Now mum does know who her parents were, but she's so lucky to know, because she very well could not have known. And then there were three messages in particular that I received that probably meant the most to me. So I had a message actually from a friend of mine that I haven't seen for a long time. We went to college together, that's where we met. And she messaged and she said, like, I've just watched a video, I'm crying my eyes out. She said, I don't know if you were aware, but I was adopted too. And she just said that she's been so nervous to find out information because her adopted parents are absolutely amazing and she adores them and she loves them. She's never really found any stories of people who are happy in their adoption who still want to know information about their birth family. And that really hit me, because you'll see in the video, we were so nervous we didn't want to upset Nana and Grandpa, and I really had to say to my mum, but you're not doing anything wrong. And even though I felt guilty myself, and my goodness, my mum's guilt, was but you're not doing anything wrong. She is really happy in her adoption, and that is her family, that is her home, and they are her mum and dad, but there is still a piece of her identity that was missing. And so that's what I went back and said to my friend, that actually, if you try not to feel like that, because it is really important and it's still part of who you are. Bless her, just talking to her about seeing and hearing how emotional she felt about it, and how much kind of courage it gave her, or it has given her, seeing that video, and that, okay, I am really happy in my adoption, but that's okay that I want to know more. That was really powerful for me. And then one of the other messages that I had was actually somebody that works in our local council and who works with adopted children, and in setting up, I think, adoptees and adopters. She sort of works somewhere within that. And she's the manager of that team. And she said to me how impactful, so it was her that used the word impactful, that she found this video, she found it very, very emotional to watch. And she asked if she could share it amongst her team. She said they do a lot of reflection time, where they just look at what else could they do for adoptees and adopters. And something that they do really, really encourage now parents who are giving up their children is to write a letter to their child for the future when they're old enough then to be able to comprehend what they're reading, but to be able to hear from their birth parents about why were they given up for adoption. And she said, because so often it's nowhere near as bad as people think. And my mum's a prime example of that. Mum thought she was an ugly baby, that she wasn't wanted, that she was neglected. And we now know that that was so far from the truth, that Elizabeth was, living and working in nursing quarters. She didn't have any family here. She had no relatives here. She had no one that she could rely on. She had to work to pay for the roof over her head. And also in those days, you had to pay for your baby right up until they were adopted. So mum was legally adopted, I don't know, maybe a year and a bit after she went to my nana and grandpa's. So Elizabeth paid for her that whole time. She didn't have a choice. She didn't have the ability to be able to look after her, to care for her. She didn't have the time or the money to do so. So she was, it's like an adoption she was kind of forced into. And that changed everything for mum, that she was wanted and that she was loved and adored. And you can see in the photos the love that Elizabeth clearly had for mum. That was such an emotional thing for us. And then of course that Elizabeth tried to contact mum on her 16th birthday, and that letter from Elizabeth that we have a copy of is one of my most treasured possessions. Yeah, that I can see what a difference that would make to people who are adopted later on in life, if they can then know what happened, and they might feel more of a sense of peace with that. And then the final message that I had that really meant something to me was somebody else messaged to say that their husband's mum was also adopted, and she died unfortunately out of the blue last year, and never got to find out anything about her adoption because she wasn't sure she wanted to. But she used the same word, like she thought she was ugly as a baby and that's why she was given up. I just find that so heartbreaking to think that a baby could think that they were ugly. Oh, just like it's so emotional, isn't it? Like, it's really sad. Anyway, she passed away, and this girl who messaged me, she doesn't know if her husband will be able to find out the information because his mum's passed away. Is it that just the mum can find out? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. You know, that obviously meant a lot to them, and they were really emotional watching the video too. And the other thing that's come out of it, which has been so wildly positive, is that I've started to make connections with other Hong Kongese people, having people in the Hong Kong adoptee kind of society and community reach out to me and like wanting me to join their group and things like, oh, and that's amazing. Like, because being able to connect with my Chinese heritage has been an absolute privilege. An absolute privilege. So it's something I'm so proud of. So that's been amazing. If I keep talking about this, I could talk about it forever. So the one other thing that I want to talk about that I have been asked a few times about is my mum's father. So who was my mum's birth father? We were told that he was Canadian. It transpires he was not Canadian. The adoption records were not accurate. They were chosen in that way not to be accurate by Elizabeth and mum's birth father because of the circumstances they were in. I'm not going to share too much about that because obviously that was something that they didn't want shared. And unfortunately he did pass away. He passed away in 1986, so I'll never get to meet him, and he literally passed away about a month before I was born, so I'm not going to share too much about that. However, I am writing a book, and funnily enough, I've had messages about that as well to say you should write a book about Elizabeth's like childhood and what in her life, and I am. I've been writing it for about 20 years before I even knew who Elizabeth was, or if we were definitely Chinese, or you know. But I've written bits and bobs over 20 years, and in the last sort of year and a half, 2 years, I've really picked that back up. And funnily enough, today, I haven't read it yet, but today my manuscript has come back from a literary agent who was doing an assessment on it. So I haven't read it yet. I'm really excited to see what they say. I've got a lot of work still to do in it. I know that without even reading the report. It's not completely finished. And I need to build on some of the relationships, but it's very much about Elizabeth, about the doctor that found her at the hospital when she was abandoned as a baby, and the woman that adopted her because they were friends, and the man that was involved in their life. It's a fascinating story, and it links back to my family heritage of what the family did. The family were funeral directors in Hong Kong, and they came from Shanghai. It's absolutely a fascinating story. So I'm doing my best to write a fictional novel about it. And yes, manuscript assessment came back this morning, which I'm going to read tonight. So by the time you watch this, I will have read that, and I will probably be back to writing my book again. So watch this space, because there will be a lot more about my mum's father in that. So yeah, that'll be coming. Okay, travel updates. If this is not your first vlog of mine that you're watching, then you have probably found your way here either through a love of Disney, a love of cruising, or a love of travel. The next trip that we've got, or rather our big trip that's coming up in a couple of months' time, is our longest, most epic adventure yet, and it ticks off the Disney, the traveling, and the cruising all in 1 month-long adventure. So we are flying to Vancouver. We are spending a few, well, no, that's not true. We're actually flying to Seattle, and then we're driving to Vancouver. We are staying in Vancouver for a few days, and we're going to get to meet my lovely friend's baby. So if you love cruising, you might have heard of Matt Mitchum. So he was one of Carnival Cruise Line's like top cruise directors for years and years and years. He's got a huge following on social media. He's like my boy bestie. We became very good friends in 2007 when we met on my first contract on the Carnival Valor. Out of Miami, and it's now been, that was 2007, it's like 18 years, and we still speak like every week. And yeah, absolute boy bestie. He has the most beautiful, lovely wife, and they're having a baby, so we're gonna get to meet the baby. Anyway, we're then getting on our very first Disney cruise. We are taking a Disney cruise from Vancouver, out to Hawaii, and we have got so much planned. We've got 4 port days, so we're stopping in Honolulu, we're in Oahu, we're stopping in Nawiliwili in Kauai, we're stopping in Hilo on the Big Island, and we're also going to Kahului on the island of Maui. So we've got some really fun things coming up about that, and I will share more about that in the ridiculously big Come Pack When We vlog that will have to come for this trip. We're going away for a month. And then we're staying on Honolulu for 3 nights, so on Waikiki Beach in Honolulu for 3 nights. Before then we fly to Kona, and we're flying to Kona on the Big Island to stay in a kind of like, or high up in the volcanoes, kind of beautiful house with a beautiful veranda, so we can go and see, we can do stargazing and explore a completely different island before we fly back to Oahu, back to Honolulu Airport, and we're going to stay at Disney's Aulani for a week. Like, I can't believe it. Aulani was the whole reason that we bought into Disney Vacation Club like 2.5 years ago. So I'm so excited that we're actually going to go for a whole week. We've got the luau planned. We've got, oh my goodness, again, I will share more about that the closer that we get. But that epic series will be going live after the Canada series. So that will be probably take us from November and December through to the new year. So yeah, again, like make sure you're subscribed because there's going to be so many amazing vlogs to come. I'm so excited and I can't wait to share them with you. But we also booked a little sneaky trip for the summer holidays because the kids are obviously off for 6 weeks. Carl and I have like balanced our diaries at work to make sure that one of us is generally always working, but we really wanted to try and have some time away together as well. And if we don't go away and we don't leave home, I will just work. So I need to not do that. It's not fair on the kids. They've got 6 weeks off. So we need to go away and have some time together. Anyway, we were invited to go stay with one of Carl's very best friends, and they live in Utah. So him and his wife and their 2 children, both boys, they live in Utah, and we're actually flying to Vegas, and we're going to stay overnight in Vegas with the kids just for 1 night. So that could be really interesting. And then we're going to drive up into Utah, into the mountains, and go stay with them for sort of like 10 days or so and explore that whole area. We're going to go to Zion National Park and to Moby. Hang on, what's it called? Okay, that just took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to actually figure out what it was, but it's Moab. Moab in Utah. Cannot wait to do that. And then we're going to drive back down to Vegas. That final night, I actually managed to get a really, really good deal for the Venetian. So we're staying in like a luxury suite in the Venetian on the Strip. I don't know what the kids are going to make of this. I think it'll be hilarious and brilliant. So I'm so excited about that. And then we're literally home for a month before we go to Vancouver, Seattle, Vancouver and Hawaii, which is just crazy. And then after that, in February, my sister and I have booked it seems to be like an annual trip now. We started off by doing like Disneyland Paris together. Then we went to Hong Kong. And because we went all the way to Hong Kong and we're literally only there for 5 days, we've now just got really confident in that, we can kind of do anything we like and go anywhere we want, just the 2 of us. We're actually going to Florida in February for a week, just the 2 of us. And we're staying in Disney World. We've booked, it was actually through Virgin Holidays, ended up being the cheapest option. We're staying on property in a Disney resort. We've got a full Disney dining plan. I can't wait. Steph hasn't been to Disney World since 2019, and there is like a mini vlog series of that trip on our channel. That was way before we did vlogging. Carl just happened to like video an awful lot of that trip, so I made them into some vlogs for memories. So you can check those out if you want to. They are old school, so you know, don't judge. Yeah, so excited to do that with my sister. It'll be so nice for her to go back. And then we do actually have some flights booked in the Easter holidays. Those, even though the flights are booked, our plans aren't knuckled down yet on that, so I'm not going to share too much about that yet, because I have a feeling something could change with that. We'll see. I'll let you know once we know for sure. That is everything that you've got coming up. If you've got any other questions for me about travel, about our Ancestry journey, about my mum, about Elizabeth, just please drop me a note in the comments below. I've been showing my family comments and telling them like things that people have said as well, and I think that's meant a lot to them as well. It's been so lovely. As I said, like, just thank you so much for the overwhelmingly amazing response that we've had. And keep sharing the video, keep watching, and if you can do me a favour and and just hit the thumbs up on this button on this video as well. I'll be so grateful, because it's the only way that it tells YouTube, yes, we like this video. So YouTube, yes, send it out to other people. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon, probably from a national park in Utah, from the mountains of Banff National Park in Canada, or even from off a volcano in Hawaii. There's a lot to come. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.